Okay, so I thought I'd do a quick update to the current state of things. The 4 posts are solid in this angle because of those braces and the fact that they're connected down there. So obviously you can imagine if that tries to lean that way, it's going to push against that, which is going to push that outwards, but also compress that distance. So between the two of them, they don't allow any movements. And that's precisely what's happening here as well, in this dimension. Of course, right now I'm not stabilized in this dimension because what I need is bracing here and there, sort of here and there, just to stop that top thing moving back and forth. I can't do that yet because that thing, that beam there, is not connected to that post. And the reason it's not connected to the post is because I don't have the right equipment to make sure that they're sufficiently, they're sticking out the same amount, because there's some discrepancies in the placement of these posts. They're not bang on square. That one, I believe, is too far that way, something like that. I think it's too far that way by quite a bit, actually. Anyway, the point is that, so what I've done now is I've put all these up. They're resting on this, which is of course solid as all get out. I even screwed them in because I really don't want to fall off. I don't want to break anything. I've only got one more break left in me, and then that'll be the end of it, I think. But I don't want to squander that break quite yet. So, and I've got plywood up here right now, just sitting there. So what I'm going to do is line up the plywood with this surface here and the front here, likewise the front there, and that surface there, and to get everything squared up, because you can take in a lot of things can be off. You just compensate as you go along. But what you can't do, well, I guess you can, but you really don't want to, is begin compensating once you put the roofing material on, because then you're just like, cutting angles and all this sort of shit. It's just not worth getting into. Anyway, so the next thing that I need to do is align these exactly where they want to be. They are the distances apart. They're within like 1/8 of an inch over the entire length. So that took some jiggling, which mainly involved that one there. That post there is not completely flat. Sorry, straight up and down. It's not completely true. The rest of them are. But it's only out by like nothing. Half an inch or something over the entire length, so it's nothing. So the system worked. Essentially, this business worked. I don't know what happened here. I'm not quite sure why that's not in the exact right spot. I do have a way to fix that later. I came up with a method in my head. In the meantime, you've got all of these things. They're through what's called ready rod, which is threaded all the way. So you put holes through, you do the countersinking, and then you put the other bolts on the other side. This stuff is I'm going to sand that off before the end, because this is the residue from when I cut that. It's just oxidized, so it'll come right off. Up here, I actually had to make some new wind braces, because this size brace, because you'll notice that of course is not hitting this beam up here. That means it would have to start here and then go up that way. So that was just going to look messy. So I made some new ones that will start exactly the same height as this, and they'll just be longer. So the angles will be more pleasing to the eye. On this side, I had the same issue as far as the braces being too short, because that is 8 feet tall, and that brace will actually sit like partially over here, something like that. And so I'm going to bring it all the way down to below this one and then go up. So I made a couple of new ones there for the front, but as I say, the time to do it would be once this beam is in place. Just went through a whole shitteroo and then realized I wasn't recording. So current state of this thing. So all the braces are in, 8 of them. You'll see what I was talking about previously. See, this one I had to make a different length to those. I made 8 of these ones. It's quite involved because look, you have to countersink it, then you have to make sure that your bit gets in there as well, so you can't just, so you have to angle it as well, and then make sure that that's a flat surface that the washer sits on. So it involves 2 or 3 different processes. Anyway, I made 8 of them, and then when I got to this, I realized that it was going to hit that, and that's not a good idea. Well, I'd actually, if it hit it bang on, I probably would have left it. Well, I probably wouldn't, but it was like halfway, so it was going to be shitty. Anyway, so I made those new ones, and I also made these ones at the back, because what was going to happen here, I'll show it on this one, what was going to happen was it was going to start about there and go up, and that would have just looked like, you put a piece in there and it just looks so visually uncooked, uninspired, and like, you know, just not thought through, which of course it hadn't been. And what I hadn't thought through is that this height, of course, is different to this height, which meant that the same length brace won't be aligned like this. It'd be somewhere in there. So bloody nuisance. The other thing that I was doing today was doing what these things, these bird beaks, see, so that it so your 2x4 sits flat on the, this thing is just a piece that I was using for alignment, that will be removed of course, so it sits flat, and then you can screw or nail, which reminds me I need to get longer nails, nails through this. So and by the time I get to the far end, I'm out, this bit's out by 1/4 of an inch to there, so I have to change this bird beak here, bring it back 1/4 of an inch over the length, so over 8 or 9 or how many ever, and there's another bird beak of course at that end, but that's the update for that. Car's charging up, ready for the mainland jaunt, and oh look, it is charged up, great, 80% Rebby, 80%. And I think I already had a video about the bandsaw mill, the mill. This is what this thing looks like. You know, it gets pretty messy when you're in the middle of a project. No, Ah, great, I tidied up. Fantastic, look at this. Not bad, eh? Not bad. Anyway, so I need to grab that, some nails, some hose, a gun, and the tools that I already put in here. Those things. That's good. All right, see ya. Happy birthday, Emilio.